All right. Hello, all you beautiful, wonderful, amazing, spectacular tea people. Welcome to another Mountain Stream Teas live stream today with Alishan. And today we'll talk about this garden. And this garden is an interesting one. It's near and dear to my heart. This garden has been on the site off and on since the oops, wrong way. Since the very start of Mountain Stream Teas. Like since the very start, like before even Mountain Stream Teas was launched. And it's one of those stories about what it means to be like to be in a famous place, right? The famous place. Because Alishan is the famous place. And teas that come from famous places are 99 times out of 100 they suck. They will. Okay, so first let's talk about the difference between good and the difference between famous. So in Taiwan, in the Chinese language in general, when you're looking at something that is Yoming, which means literally directly translates as famous, not good, people will say, oh, Naga and Yoming. And basically what that means is lots of people know about it. Now, in general, if something's really bad, you don't say Yoming. You say something different like that is. What would you say if it was bad? You might say like something like a sarcastic Yoming, a sarcastic famous. But generally speaking, you don't say something is famous when you're looking at things that are bad. You only say it when things that are good. But if somebody says in Chinese that something is Yoming, it doesn't mean anything other than if you look on the internet or you look in a guidebook, they're all going to say to go to that place. And that is Alishan tea. That is Alishan tea. Now, it's a good reason why it's famous, why it's Yoming. Alishan, that's why it's famous, or Yoming. There's a really good reason why. And that's because Alishan has probably the best soil, climate, and everything else. Hey, how's it going? That anybody else, like in Taiwan, certainly. And I haven't traveled around the world, but in Taiwan, certainly, it has the best climate and soil for tea. Like the best. And when I say the best, I don't mean like, oh, it's sort of the best. It's like the best. It is the best. And what that means is if you do everything right, you do organic and handpicked and this and that 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 and that, all that stuff, you create a tea there that you can't create anywhere else, and it's like the best in general, right? It's hard to say the best. Anyways, it's certainly the most famous, and it's certainly one of the most teas that's most recognizable, and it's one of the teas that's the most, how to describe it? It's like, the flavor of Alishan High Mountain Oolong is the flavor of the Taiwanese High Mountain Oolong, period. Right? That's what the flavor is. And like I said, it comes from the soil. And what does that mean? That means the soil it's thick and clay, but also loose and flowing. So it's right in between the beautiful, wispy, flowing, pear mountainy type of high stuff, and then the little bit lower Shanlinshi, muddy, thick stuff right in between those two. And so what you're getting with Alishan teas, again, chances are if you listen to some crazy bald guy on a beautiful spring day and on his back balcony, you probably already know exactly what I'm talking about. So we won't go too deeply into the Alishan terroir and the Alishan taste, unless you have questions about it. If you have questions about it, throw it in the chat and we can talk about that specifically. But what we're going to talk about right here is, well, a lot of things. Basically, my problem with Alishan and why why it's been hard for me. So there's no shortage of teas that are Alishan teas. And I remember a story I went to when I was first starting out. There was a tea shop in Hualien, and I went up and I was like, okay, let's just get an Alishan tea and see if I can sort of whatever. So I say, okay, I want the Alishan tea, and he's like, okay, we got this. So he had like 5 different Alishan teas, and I'm like, okay, just give me the most expensive one. And I guess they're coming in for a coffee break. You see it. There's YouTube, right? And there we go. Hey, it worked on both that time. Okay. Damn. It's still doing it. I got to figure out why that happens. I really have to figure out why that happens because it happens on both of them at the same time. Anyways, um, and so when you go up there, so I had it here for I remember getting it, and I think I'd already started. Maybe had my business for like a couple years, um, and and I was like, oh, just give me the most expensive one. I want to see what you got, and it was pretty expensive, right? It was expensive, and he's like, I guarantee that's good. And I got the Alishan tea, and I got the can. I got it somewhere in a box somewhere. I don't display the can anymore. But remember before, when I had all my display things here, I had the can right there, and the famous Alishan can, and the tea itself blew me away. It absolutely blew me away by how dishonest it was. It was so dishonest. It was very, very, very obviously a mix between. Sorry. So that guy's a little bit coming in a little bit slow, so he had to turn on his engine. So that's why it's a little bit louder. If they're really good, they just come through and it's just like. But if they turn on, that means they were coming in a little bit slow. Anyways, it was very obviously a mix between two different teas. And we'll talk about these three teas in a second. Why is it every time I start this? Well, not every time. And it's usually about 10 o'clock, right? They're coming in for their coffee break. Anyways, the point was this bag of tea was very, 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 very obviously two different teas put together. One was a heavily, the aftertaste is beautiful. The heavily, what's the right word? Chemicalized, right? Heavily chemicalized fertilizer, but the taste of Alishan, and the other one was just a like crap tea. And they mixed it together, and they mixed it together, and it was probably about maybe 25% good tea, 75% bad tea. So when you drank it, you would be like, oh, what's that? Oh, that tastes that. Oh, what is that? And I couldn't believe it. I was literally flabbergasted that somebody would actually do that. It was so obviously bad. Maybe they want some tea. Well, it's it's funny. I'd like to sell some tea. If I ever start selling tea to the Taiwanese sort of market, they would be my target market. The people who need to sit down, chill out, and drink tea after their busy day, but they would be my target market. So again, going into what is Alishan and all these things. So when I went to Alishan for the first time, I wanted organic tea, and I wanted, quote unquote, authentic organic. I wanted organic tea. I wanted tea that was clean. And so I tried a bunch of different places, and basically they all said, we don't have organic tea. We put that up on the website, but actually we don't do it. And it was extremely disappointing. But then I found this guy, and this guy is a pretty fascinating guy. He's part of the Aboriginal tribe up there, and him and his wife are right off the main drag. You drive like 2 or 3 minutes from this. There's this horrible strip of consumerism right on the side of the mountain, and it's got 5 different convenience stores and 2 different buffets. Like it's just the most horrible place. And all the buses are there. I haven't been there in years. I just can't stand it. Anyways, he's about 2-minute drive down the way, down this little thing, away from this horrible strip, right? This horrible strip. Hey, how's it going? This horrible strip of consumerism right on the tea mountain, like right there, right on this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful tea mountain. And he's got these 2 plots of tea. And one of them is grown absolutely just so wild. It's so beautiful. And one of them he takes care of, but they're both organic. and one of them he took sort of care of. Now these are small gardens; these are not big gardens; they're relatively small, and he does things so naturally that some years there's no tea. Be like, sorry, the bugs ate my tea this year. That's it. And I go, okay, fair enough. And he did the Alishan Red, those famous Alishan Reds, and I'm hoping he does one this year. But in fact, I think this one should have been turned into an Alishan Red, but didn't. It got turned into an Oolong because of these two, but we'll get into that story in a second. And if you want to know just how unique it is, his spot, you can actually go back, you can look back on my feed, go back over the years, and there was a time many, many years ago when I went to this garden and I walked 10 meters this way, 10 meters that way, 10 meters this way, 10 meters, and it was all of these horrible chemically laden gardens in Alishan. And the reason all these gardens were chemically laden was because it's from the Alishan place. You can get the special sticker that goes on it. And if they pumped the garden full of agrochemicals and all the different horrible things on the garden, just right off the bat, they get a 50%, 50%, thing on it, premium. And what happened was, and this is really fascinating, there was one garden that was a little bit lower. And I was like, why aren't they planting tea down there? And my buddy said, they use too many chemicals and now that land is dead. Can you imagine? I mean, I guess I can imagine. It's actually pretty easy to imagine, right? that in a place like Alishan, you would destroy the garden. It's sort of like just giving stimmy checks, right? Just QE to infinity, right? No. We'll just monetize that debt. So same thing. But you would just pump all of these chemicals into the tea, and then eventually, the ground would be just unusable. It'd be unusable, and that's what happened to this area, like sort of down the mountain a little bit from where this garden is. So right off the bat, when I try these two teas, so this is the story. Anyways, he's been going through some stuff. It's been tough for him, and usually I see them at the tea fair in November every year, no matter what. This year they weren't there. I phoned him up. I was like, "Oh, where are you?" I was like, "Oh, yeah." So he's going through some stuff. And so I got in touch with him this spring. I was like, let's have some tea. I want to buy his tea. Like, I want to buy his tea. I want to buy the red oolong. If he does red oolong this year and it's good, I'll buy thousands and thousands of dollars of his tea and just take it in and be like, it's mine now. I'll buy your whole harvest, sort of a thing. Maybe not his whole harvest. Depends how good it is. But I might. And because it's not that much. And he sent me these two teas. Now, this one here is from the garden that's a little bit above. And I know it's from the garden that's a little bit above because it's starchy. The aftertaste is nice, but the upfront is not okay. Every year he sends me the two gardens. And it's very easy for me to taste which is the wild garden and which is not the wild garden, right? So I know this is not the wild garden. I know this is the wild garden. And his prices are obviously a little bit higher than they would be normally, right? So you're looking at, this is the organic Alishan. So anybody who's just joining in, this is the organic Alishan, the organic Alishan oolong that's been on the site for years and years and years and years, hasn't been around for a little bit. And it's really a mixed bag in the sense of the best of the best Alishan tea I've ever had came from this garden. But I can't buy their tea every year because sometimes it's not that good. Like this one this year. Now, what I'm guessing happened with this one was it was early in the season. The weather was not very good when they picked, and there were too many. See if I can pick some out. There were too many of the wrong kind of bugs, and things just didn't go well for the growth and for the harvest and the picking of this tea. What's in there is, what's famous about this tea? It's a lot like, the Old Master Baozong will be coming sort of soon. We should talk about that later. But what's going on with this tea is that you're getting all the warts and all of the Alishan terroir, right? So you're getting warts and all. You're getting the strong upfront vegetal. You get the thick mid mouth. You get the long lingering aftertaste and sort of the milky thickness, sort of between the mid mouth and the aftertaste, somewhere in there. And the weather wasn't right. Things weren't just perfectly right for it this year. And so, I drank it and I was like, no, I didn't say anything. I left it. I left it for a couple of days. I tried it again. No, this tea I already knew I wasn't going to get. But then I got this tea in the mail, and it just popped up in the mail. And I was like, oh, is it? Is it? Oh, is it? Now, what this tea would be is this tea in the red bag here would be, what happens is they do the first pick in the springtime, and if the weather's really nice, then they're going to be doing another pick right around now. So this would be a fresh tea. This would be right around now. This would not be too far out. This would have been late May. So think like early mid-April, and then you pick the teas, but you can't pick all the teas. There's all the buds that come up, and then those secondary buds come up, and then you can pick the tea again. And it doesn't happen every year. It only happens in some years. This year, again, keep saying it was the perfect year for tea. This was an amazing year for tea in the high mountains all over Taiwan. This 2024 is going to go down in the books for one of the best tea years in many, many years. Beautiful year. They got their yields. They got their weather. Anyways, beautiful teas. And so I got this tea. I was like, yay! Like I drank it and I was like, finally, here's the tea that you want. And the vegetal is a little bit lighter than these two teas, right? A little bit lighter vegetal. Mid-mouth is thickier, bulkier, sort of sweeter. And then the aftertaste is just gorgeous. So what happened with this one was they would have done it. The weather would have been good. Just about everything that you could hope for to happen, to get a second pick, looks like it happened. And then they were able to do this second pick. And so I bought some of this. And so I think that's kind of the first Alishan tea of the year that's coming in from Alishan, which is wrong and bad. And I apologize for that. But like I said, the damn earthquake, right? It's just, it really sort of messed everything up. Anyways, I'm going to get some of this. So this will be on the site. I'll release it, I don't know, in a week or so. And when I tried it, I was just so happy. I said, okay, I can buy this tea, right? These two teas, can't really do it. Can't really pull it off. Can't really do the, if everything's not perfect for it, can't really quite do it. But for this one, I can. And it's not perfect, right? It's not the best of the best of the best. And it's not the best Alishan you're ever going to have in your entire life. That was about 4 years ago or 5 years ago when this garden did that tea. And it's good. Like, it's much, much better than this, way better than this. And it is all the things that you would want to get for sustainable tea. Now, it could be a little bit better, but it's certainly not bad. And it's got, it's helping out the people who need to help. Like, I mean, he made good tea. I want to buy it, right? And it's a little bit over the cost of what I usually would buy for this tea. But organic Alishan, come on. Organic Alishan, that's all you can do, right? It's just going to be more expensive. It's not that much more expensive this year. And it's, helping out somebody that I know who is having a rough time. And it's a tea that no one's going to lose out. Like anybody who gets a tea, you like Alishan, all these different types, that you're going to get this tea, and you'll enjoy it, and it'll make you feel good, and it won't hurt your body and all that type of stuff. So I would like to say thank you to the planes for letting me have my talk before they come back and land again. But there they go, landing. Also, a big thank you to everybody who bought tea over the last couple of days. I've been busy, as usual, when one of those emails go out. This time the email was, I tried the Shopify inbuilt emails, and it worked out okay. it wasn't too hard to make the email. Not quite as nice looking, I think, as the other one. But it sent out over 4 hours. So I pressed the button and then it just went out over 4 hours. And so I think everybody got it. I think everybody got it. I felt a little bad, although it worked out okay. I'll say that. I felt a little bad because I started over with the list. So if people had already unsubscribed to the other list, then they were still sent this email because they were on the original list. And nobody complained. But then there was a couple people who hadn't bought tea in a year or two, and they bought tea, and I was like, "Whoa, hey, how chopuchino," and so I guess it worked out. Nobody complained, and I certainly didn't do it on purpose, but it worked out. Like, who knows? I don't know whether it still happens about the. I'm sure it must. All the people who got rich from email lists. So people would have lists of like 1 million people, and then they'd send out an email, and then they'd make 100,000 off of the 1 million people or something like that. People made lots of money off of that. Clear, light. It could be a little bit thicker, but the aftertaste is gorgeous. The aftertaste is gorgeous. And so, yeah, that'll be on the site in... This will be on the site in a week or so. I guess I ordered it. It's on its way. But that'll be some Alishan stuff. Baotsong stuff is coming soon. So Old Master Baotsong will be coming in. And I might actually go up on Thursday. I might actually just go up because I've been sort of waiting for the Old Master Baotsong. What they do with Old Master Baotsong is they take every day it's a good day. They'll pick a little bit of tea. So every single day it's a good day for about a 6-week period. They'll pick a little bit of tea. And some places they'll pick twice. Some places they'll pick 3 times. They'll just go through they've got their tea and they'll be like, oh, go pick that today. Go pick that today. And every day they make a little bit of tea if there's good weather. And then around the end of the season, so right at the end of the season, which is right now, they batch all of that tea together. And again, it's the mao-cha, like the unfinished tea that they put together. They put it all together, and then they put it in the roaster for a touch-up roast. Right, so they do a touch-up roast so that there's a continuity between the entire batch of tea, and then they sell it. And so today they're actually doing the roast. So I'm hoping that the Old Master Baotsong, I can get it in. Maybe I'll go up on Thursday and get it. And when I do that, I can go and visit a bunch of other places. And I can go and visit those other places and see what kind of Baotsong they got for me as well. And so the Baotsongs should be finally here. Subscription box this month will be, there's going to be the Nanhu, there's going to be the Spring Pear Mountain, and there's going to be 3 different chilais. 3 different chilais. So there's going to be the Alishan Mountain Oolong. There's going to be 3 different days. And so actually, I'll probably throw in the Old Master Dongding as well, just for fun. And so there will be the 3 different days. And so you can drink the 3 different days and see if you can pick out the weather. See if you can tell the weather between these 3 different days of the tea picking. And see if you made the right choice, or see if you made the same choice that I made for which day was the best and which day I bought the most of. And so if you're getting the subscription box, I don't know, is that something that you would enjoy doing? I don't know. Like when I was first starting out into tea, that's the stuff I loved. But I was kind of a different person in the sense that I wanted to start a business. And I'm also one of those curious, push the envelope type of people, right? So I'm not one of those people that are like, oh, this is a good tea, I'm just going to appreciate it. Like, this is a good tea. Why? How did it get good? Who did it? Like da 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 da. What's the difference if I do this or that? That's sort of my personality. So these types of things, that's what I absolutely loved, was when that happened, and I got the choice to do that. And so you'll be able to tell sort of the 3 different weather systems, for lack of a better way of describing it, and what happens to your high mountain oolong on a rainy day, on a sunny day. And so that'll be in the subscription box with the Nanhu and the Pear Mountain and the unreleased Old Master Dongding 2024. And it can be released right now. I probably will do it the next time I release teas. But with that tea, I like to leave it. I like to leave that tea to just come into its own a little bit more. So you don't have any, when it's there, you can get it, and it's just, anyways, it's great this year as well. All the teas are absolutely spectacular this year. They're just great. They're just great this year. And yeah, any questions about what we've covered so far? Just to recap, what we're looking at here is this organic, beautiful organic Alishan oolong, 3 different teas. And unfortunately, these 2 didn't pass the test. I wanted to buy my friend's tea. I wanted to do it. Just wanted to do it. But he's coming in too slow. I would know I am obviously an F16 expert. I could be entirely wrong, but generally speaking, when they fly in, there's like, and then you hear a wah. That's because they're coming in too slow, so they got to step on the gas, I guess. Anyway, so let's listen to this guy. See how this one goes. See the difference? I mean, he's coming in at the right speed. I spoke too soon. I oftentimes tell my children, I say, when I was growing up as a middle-class kid in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, the idea that I would wind up in Taiwan selling tea, becoming an F16 expert on my balcony, talking to a device to people all over the world, pretty absurd. That would be a pretty absurd thing to say. So wherever you are and however you're feeling and whatever, blah, 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 just think, there's stuff that you have no idea about. There's stuff that is so far out there that you might think you're in a dead end. You might think you're having a bad time. You might think you have no future. But the possibilities are absolutely endless. Endless. You got to go out and search for them, and that sucks. Well, the journey is the reward, blah, blah, blah. Most of the time it sucks, but you can find it. Why is it every time we fly, this guy is doing a live broadcast? Yeah, exactly, right? They probably got, I don't know whether the, is there like radar when they're bouncing, coming through, they're bouncing. Oh, he's doing it again. They must think I'm a spy. Oh, is he doing it again? But no, I'm not a spy. I'm just some random bald guy drinking tea on a live stream. Yes, it's a strange one. This doesn't have the floral kick that this one does, and it's good. I'm not saying it's horrible, but it just didn't pass the test. And the background's got a little bit too much bitterness and astringency. Anyways, I think that's about it for today. So to recap, what happens when your friend, somebody that you want to support, doesn't have the best tea? Well, for me anyways, I don't buy the stuff that doesn't hit everything that I need. Doesn't hit everything that I need, I'm not going to buy it. But I am willing to push the price up a little bit and push what I really, really need down a touch, right? I'm willing to blend those lines. Here, this was too much. This one here, I was so happy when I tried it, right? It's in the mail right now, and this will be available to people out there. You guys will be able to buy it and drink it. And, it's not the best he's ever done, but if you like Alishan teas, you definitely recognize it. And it's, it's pretty decent. So that'll be on the site. And what else is there? Oh yeah, Baozong is coming soon. A big, huge thank you to everybody who has bought tea the last couple days. It's, every time, just, where does that go? Basically into my children's bellies. And the mortgage for this house right here. But there's that. And what else? Oh yeah, this month's subscription box will be going out in the next couple of days. Last month it was late for like a week. This time it's going to be right on time or slightly early. And actually, I could probably send it out tomorrow. And it's going to be the release of the Old Master Dong Ding, a little bit of Paramount and a little bit of the Nanhu, and then you get to try 3 days production of the Alishan Oolong to see whether you could be a tea guy. A tea sorcerer. Anyways, small little story I'll tell. So my youngest son, my boys, they've been drinking tea their entire lives. And the other day I had a bunch of teas from, so proud. I had a bunch of teas from Jade Mountain, right? Jade Mountain teas are coming in this week as well. There's going to be a High Mountain, Four Seasons, a GABA, and just a Jade Mountain Oolong. So that's coming in this week as well. But I had 9 teas all laid out. 9. So there were 9 teas all laid out. And I said to my youngest, go try them all. See which one I bought. And he goes through them and he tries them all. And then he goes to one and he says, well, first I told him what I want is big mouthfeel, wide, smooth, and long-lasting aftertaste. And so he went through, and he's like, okay, this is the one I like the best. And he picked my second choice. And then I said to him, but remember what I said? I said the one that I have to pick or want to pick is the one that's got the biggest flavor, the biggest mouthfeel, the biggest, all of that. And he's like, yeah, you're right. This is the one I prefer. It was a little bit lighter, right? A little bit for like a 9-year-old, right? Not quite so big. And there's still like, the little bit of bitterness, astringency mixed with the floral is what adults want. And he's still like more a little bit sweet. And again, he chose my second pick. And then he goes, oh yeah, okay. And he goes over right to the one that I picked. And I was like, whoa, right? Whoa, like that was pretty amazing. I was pretty happy with that he could pull it out. And not only could he pull it out, he could literally just, change on a dime. And because of what he could anticipate what the adult flavor was. So that was pretty funny. But he, they like to help out and things like that. And anyways, he likes drinking tea a little bit too much. I worry about him a bit. I don't think he likes the flavor of some of the teas so much as he likes the caffeine. So I worry about him a little bit when he gets older. But he certainly knows a good tea, which is awesome. I don't know how many people could do that. Anyways, last call for questions for any of this stuff. I'm hoping maybe on Thursday I'll finally be able to leave Hualien. It's been a long time since I've been able to leave Hualien. So I'm hoping that on Thursday I can leave Hualien, go up into the mountains, show everybody what's going on, and get some good Instagram worthy stuff up there. I might take one of my sons with me to go up the mountain. But anyways, thank you for watching. So wherever in the world you happen to be, I hope you have an absolutely wonderful morning, night. Hope you sleep well. Hope you have a great day today and tomorrow. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next live stream.